Sheeran Looper X. I'm not mad, just disappointed.
Freebie.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat. Today's patron shoutout goes to Mike Pounder. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. When the Sheeran Looper X was first announced back in late February of 2024, this year, I was ecstatic. I'd been looking to add a looper to my live rig that I was building at the time for a while, and unfortunately none of the options that were available really interested me. The Looper X solved a lot of the issues I had. Big, robust design, sturdy pedals, a huge screen where I could see the waveforms. It ticked a lot of boxes for me, and as soon as it was available, I reached out to my Zounds rep, and I had one here very quickly, about a week after they were announced. So big shout out to Zounds.com for sending one out for me. Also thanks to Zounds.com for sending out the Boss RC600, which is the looper that I'm currently using that you'll actually see later in this video. So let's dive in. The build quality of the Looper X is frankly exquisite. It's huge, heavy, absolutely stage grade. These are probably the nicest feeling pedals I've used on any device ever. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna say they are the nicest pedals I've ever used. The screen is bright and perfectly readable from a standing position, especially in both the waveform and level views, where you're gonna be able to grab the information you need with just a quick glance down at your feet. It's all very, very handy and very usable. The I/O is pretty extensive too. You've got 4 XLR combo jacks for inputs, XLR and 1/4 inch outs, 5-pin MIDI in and out, USB-B for computer connection, and USB-A for not only file transfer, but also to act as a MIDI host. There is a lot to like here. Now, it is expensive, coming in at just under $1,300 US. However, it is a stage grade piece of gear. This is meant to, tour and hit the road with you. I really do think it's worth it at that price. At least it would be if the software was able to match the hardware, which sadly is just not the case. It should be noted that as of the final revision of this script, which is July 22nd, 2024, I am running the latest firmware of the Sheeran Looper X, which is version 1.0.1, which is the same firmware that it launched with over 6 months ago. Now, the Looper X is based on Ed Sheeran's personal looping workflow. This workflow consists of recording and overdubbing on different tracks, and then muting individual tracks to drop out parts and bring them back in. There isn't a way to stop individual tracks at all. There are 4 different modes built into Looper X, but they all revolve around this main concept of everything running while certain tracks are simply muted and unmuted. Now, I can totally understand the Ed Sheeran Looper X launching with Ed Sheeran's personal workflow that he uses, but here's where things start to get messy. Headrush, who makes the Looper X, already had a premium looper board, the Headrush Looper Board. And that came out quite a while before the Looper X, and it actually had all the features that you would look for in a normal looping workflow. And by normal, I mean not necessarily the muting and unmuting thing, but loop on one track, then loop on another, stop one track, bring in something else, and just have free reign to really manipulate the tracks how you'd like. However, Headrush seemingly dropped support for the looper board before the Looper X came out, leading most folks to believe that the Looper X was intended to be a direct replacement, an upgrade to the original Headrush looper board. However, the Looper X is still lacking those basic looping features that are pretty common on most any other looping device. To make matters worse, Carl Wachner, who is a looping musician, you can find his videos on YouTube, they are excellent. He seemingly worked pretty close with the Sheeran Loopers team and Headrush/InMusic on this. And he said that there was going to be a firmware coming soon that would allow for a more normal looping workflow. And then he even teased a firmware update coming after that one that would allow any pedal to be assigned to any feature. These statements were made right after the Looper X came out, but here we are 6 months later, and there's been no sign of a firmware update. We haven't heard a peep from Sheeran loopers, head rush, in music, nobody. Also, this is not an attack on Carl because he seems to be just as in the dark as anybody else as to when these features are actually coming, so I don't blame him at all. Unfortunately, he was just the messenger in this case. But yeah, like I said, the Sheeran Loopers team has been completely silent on any updates coming to the Looper X. And that is quite concerning in my opinion, because it's a $1,300 looper. And I believe the Sheeran Loopers team has said that they want this thing to be at the forefront of the looping, community. And if you're not going to talk to your customers, I just don't see that really happening. The fact that you still can't tailor the workflow to meet your looping needs on, like I said, a $1,300 looper, I mean, to me it just feels completely, or falls completely flat. I just don't get it. The title of this video actually was suggested by my wife, as she has had to watch my struggle with this looper pedal over the past 6 months. It's also appropriate because the first concert that her and I ever went to together was Ed Sheeran, so that's fun. That was a great show, by the way. That was a good show. I asked her to sum up what she thought my thoughts were, and she said, it seems like it could be good if they updated it, and the least they could do would be to actually communicate with their customers on when or if an update was coming. They, of course, in this case referring to Headrush / in music, Sheeran Loopers, you get it. Now, this is my current pedal board. 3 of these 4 pedals are dedicated to looping. And for this next bit, we're just going to ignore this pedal right over here. This is just for vocals, but let's look at everything else on this board. A quick reminder, the Sheeran Looper X goes for $1,300 US. Now, this is the looper that I've decided to go with, and I've actually already been performing with, the Boss RC600. It has 2 more tracks than the Looper X, 6 as opposed to 4. It also has an absurd level of customization, both in function and MIDI function, and it retails for just $599 US. This is the Morningstar MC6 Pro, an insanely versatile MIDI controller that has more functionality than I could possibly explore in a lifetime, and it only retails for $349 US. This little switch here is the Boss FS5U, a very simple momentary foot switch, and it retails for just under $50. And all of these pedals are sitting on the Pedal Train Classic 1 pedal board, which is very, very sturdy, and also came with this tour-worthy hard case, and together the case and the pedal board retail for just $199 US. Together, these pieces of gear have allowed me to create a looping workflow that is 100% customized, tailored to my exact needs. I'll leave a link in the description to a video where I go more in depth into my live rig and these pedals if you'd like to check it out. But the point of this is to say that all of these pedals, including the pedal board and the case, retail for just under $1,200 US. That's a full $100 under what the Sheeran Looper X retails for. And functionality-wise, it's not even a comparison. And of course, like I said, hardware-wise, I firmly believe that the Looper X is worth it. In terms of just raw durability and beefiness on stage, the Looper X does beat the live rig that I have set up. However, if someone is going to spend well over $1,000 US on a looper pedal, especially one that's claiming to be a very premium option, this is the level of customization they should expect. In summary, the Sheeran Looper X has the potential to be an absolutely incredible looper pedal, definitely a premium option. However, right now, it's just not there, and it's not going to get anywhere close until In Music brings it the firmware update it deserves. And hell, honestly, at this point, they need to give the customers what they deserve, and just a little bit of communication would go a long way, I think. So that's all I've got on the Sheeran Looper X. I do hope you found this video informative or at least entertaining. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can always leave a dislike. Doesn't hurt my feelings. Just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.